It gets even worse for Neil Gaiman. I know I've said that time and time again, but every single video that ends up being true, this scandal is the biggest thing in entertainment culture, and I'm just shocked to see how few people are talking about it. It's like there's like an intentional cover-up going on. Now, I've been told this has been happening within comic industry media, that they have intentionally been covering it up, and I assume it's very similar for the publishing industry. They don't want this to be known. They don't want this cash cow to go away. They are out here, and it's crazy. It's crazy how weird this gets. And now this is the smoking gun because I've never seen anything like this. It's pretty wild. And we're going to get into the new Tortoise podcast expose on Neil Gaiman's payoffs of his victims today. All right, my name's John Delarose, everybody. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And for the first breaking up-to-date news, make sure to subscribe to Fandom Pulse. This is my Substack, where I write up the news. I do that as well as do the YouTube here. Sometimes you get some stories that we don't cover here. And, of course, if you like to read your written news in the morning, this is great because it sends you an email. Another great thing about the Substack is that I send my live stream links out on here. A lot of times YouTube does not give people notifications of the live streams. So we actually live streamed last night, had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I would love for you to get those notifications. So it's a notification system away from the notification system on here. And that link's in the description below. I'm also a writer. I would love for you to check out my space opera books this weekend. This is a great trilogy and is a lot of fun. If you like good science fiction, if you like Babylon 5, if you like the old Star Trek stuff before they ruined it, check this out. It's also in the description below. Thank you guys so much for supporting our work, both in the news media and in the fiction. It's something super special around here. You guys are the best audience I could ever have mustered up. And if you've not hit the like and subscribe button, do join us here. We have a great community who actually cares about books. So Neil Gaiman's situation, if you've not heard about it yet, is a big one. There are multiple women out accusing him of sexual assault, of misconduct, all sorts of things. And it's been just escalating and escalating and escalating. The first two victims appeared on the Tortoise podcast, and they went out there and they said that the first one was a fan who asked her up to his hotel room, and he got aggressive with her, and she was upset with it later. The second one was a 21-year-old nanny when he was 62. He's supposed to come over for his child, and he invited her into the tub to degrade her, I guess, and more. And she's one of the ones that actually got paid off. We'll get into that in a minute. His statement is that they only cuddled in the tub, his employee. Very weird. And then there was another fan who did a podcast, and she went and talked about how she needed therapy for years because of it, the way that he manipulated her. And then the fourth one was another employee, or at least the wife of an employee. She was living on his estate in New York. Her husband was the landscaper. And apparently after she divorced him, Neil made it clear, according to, again, the Tortoise podcast, that she would have to give him sexual favors in order to stay there and not get evicted. That's another one of the victims that got paid off, according to this. So was the fan before. Now, there were a couple more also that came out, and it were not reported by the Tortoise podcast. There was a massage therapist who worked for Amanda Palmer who said there was intimate stuff going on, and Neil flashed her and the like. There was a sixth one, and I can't recall. Let me see if I wrote it up this morning because there's so many of these now. It's getting hard to keep all these straight. And this one, I don't remember what the next one was. I think it was another fan yet again. Then there was a seventh one that was a Reddit one that said it was a friend of a friend who was over and stayed the night at their house. Neil came up to her before then and allegedly said that he gets weird on Ambien, and then apparently this person was groped and then while he was on Ambien in the middle of the night. And so that one was not reported by the Tortoise podcast, but we discovered that one here via a Reddit post. And yikes. So now after we found out also that he put out a crisis management firm to do PR at the beginning of this year. Now, remember, this only came out podcast-wise in July and from Tortoise. So he knew this was coming for 7 months at the very least. And so that crisis management firm has been out there spamming social media with The Sandman is a great action-adventure series on Netflix. Neil Gaiman is a master of writing. Yeah, of course. That's the type of stuff that has been spammed on social media to try to hide posts about what's actually going on. Very few people are actually posting about it. I mean, you can see me on Twitter. You can see a few others. But again, the media is silent. And so they're trying to just flood it. It's an SEO tactic to try to make it go away. Neil Gaiman has been completely silent since the first podcast has come out. 0 posts to social media. He has also canceled public appearances. So it's been looking bad for a long time. And now it's looking even worse. So Tortoise Media came out with actual audio of one of the fans, the one that was spent this like 10-year relationship with him on and off, where she felt manipulated, abused, etc. It's interesting listening to her because she's like, it wasn't an R situation. Like she just got manipulated by his status as an author, and she was told she was the only one. It was the only situation. Even when he was paying her off, she was told she was the only one, and just was caught into a web of lies for a lot of years. And she realized, like, I didn't ever really want to go this far, or really want to do this kind of thing. He just pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And it was really gross. There's no like real legal recourse she can get, but she did get compensated. And this is where it gets kind of weird. So they played a phone call on it, and you can hear Neil on the phone call talking about this. He says, reading your letters, if I'd known that, I took up that headspace. For you, I would have, I don't know. I would have, this is my bad accent, I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry. I think it's funny. I would have reaching out a long time ago. I've never thought of you with anything other than fondness and a little awkwardness and, have me feelings like I've got the wrong end of the stick. He's got the wrong end of the stick. He's the true victim here. Yes. Neil's the victim here. This is amazing narcissism. But I thought you were terrific. So he tries to butter her up during this whole situation as well, saying she's great, saying all that stuff. He got the wrong end of it. He's just an awkward guy. Wow. And I was heartbroken seeing that I was giving you nightmares. And so I'm really sorry. And so later on there, he goes, I did something so much shittier than I ever dreamed. I didn't even realize I was doing something shitty. So that's kind of a confession that he knows he did something wrong, and he's trying to make restitution for that. But it's really weird again because as you get into this, he starts to promise her money, and he says he can make a $15,000 gift to her every year for the next 4 years, and that's all tax free, and he can give that to her, and that's a lot of money. It is actually a lot of money. And she then and he says he'll give another donation, a big sizable donation to a rape crisis center, and tries to woo her into that. Well, she actually accepted, and she got the $60,000 actually up front. He said it was to pay for her therapy for this. That's expensive therapy. And then apparently he even lied during this, as Tortoise did some investigations to that rape crisis center, and apparently he never paid them. But this wasn't the only payment that went down, and this was around 2022. There were 2 others that were done almost the same time. It's like he knew a storm was coming because he dipped into this well of going after these women one too many times, and he knew it was all going to bubble up. And it seems like he was doing damage control far in advance of even this stuff being investigated into. So the gal who was his nanny apparently was paid $8,000. He said he'd cover her rent, according to the podcast, and made her sign a non-disclosure agreement. And they verified that she got that payment as well and saw the non-disclosure agreement. Now, making people sign non-disclosure agreements gets really weird too. So now we've got 2 women paid off. We've got non-disclosure agreement with one of them. who was working for him, and the other one who was his employee or tangentially employee also got a non-disclosure agreement. So this little situation where he's hiring people, doing this, he makes them sign NDAs with their sexual relations afterwards. Very, very weird. Now, this other one, the New York one, who was living there, it was the rent situation. She had to pay for her rent one way or another. This one, he paid a whopping $275,000 to, according to Tortoise. Wow. And that's because the rent situation is actually the most smoking gun illegal situation that he's got going with this whole deal. So he really wanted to make sure that was covered up, made her sign an NDA as well. Yikes. So we've got 2 NDAs. We've got 3 payments confirmed. We've got Neil on audio, his voice, actually talking about what it would take to silence her, to make those. So we know we have a world of trouble here because, you don't make payments and things like that when you're just some innocent, awkward guy with some no problems here. This is really, really bad for Neil. It's really, really bad for the publishing industry. And gosh, this is crazy that it's not a bigger story. I would like you guys to share this, whether it's the written version on Fandom Pulse, whether it's this video. Just get the word out there because this needs to be known that this guy is like, wow, off the charts creep, off the charts. And this is like the savior of book publishing, comic publishing, the entertainment industry. He's hailed as the best of the generation. He was propped up, really nasty guy, and this needs to get out there further. So grab this. Like I said, the article's in the description below. Share this video out, my friends. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. What do you think? I mean, the payoffs. I didn't know this was coming. This is pretty wild. And guys, make sure to check out my Stars Entwined space opera trilogy. It's good stuff here. And of course, we are just doing the work here and just making books and having fun without any of the weird stuff surrounding us. There's no rock star situation here. I'm just at home with my family writing, and I like it that way. All right, leave a comment down below. We'll see you soon.